Hello everyone and good morning. Automation is redefining manufacturing process. Automation in manufacturing helps to reduce cost, waste and improve the quality of products. Therefore, manufacturers across the globe are adopting factory automation as a key strategy to stay ahead in the run. We're going to discuss and debate on why it is essential to adopt factory automation. The session is sponsored by Backup Automation Private Limited. And I'm glad to welcome our distinguished speakers, Mr. Chandrashekar Bharathi, founder and MD, AceMicromatic MIT, and Mr. Sunil Mehta, General Manager, E-Factory Strategic Planning, Mitsubishi Electric India. Welcome, sir. I would request Mr. Chandrashekar to set the tone of the session by talking about the strategic shifts that will reshape current manufacturing ecosystem in India and why adopting factory automation is becoming essential in today's context.
So we all talk about the demographic dividend and a lot of large middle class who could be consumers. The flip side of that is India is going to become the most populous country in the next few years. And by 2030, we'd have hit 150 crores in population. And what that is doing to the employable age group is that it is actually pumping in 1 crore people every year who needs jobs. Now, to put it in context, currently in 2020, the numbers are India has about 474 million jobs, of which about 60% is in the non-farm sector or non-agricultural sector. And the agricultural sector is about 205 million jobs. If we were to project out the demographic trends, India is going to need an additional 90 million to 145 million new jobs in the non-farm sector. So the bottom line is, for India as a country, there's only one mantra to success, which is very rapid GDP growth. So in order to meet these jobs, India will need to add jobs at a 1.5% CAGR every year. And for that to happen, we need to grow at close to 8.5% GDP every single year. Even a couple of percentages of productivity growth makes all the difference between India being able to meet its requirement of jobs or not meet its requirement of jobs. So productivity is the key. India's productivity right now is fairly low compared to even our near neighbors like Vietnam or Indonesia or China or Korea or any of these countries. If you just take China as a context, they're about 6 times more productive than India end to end. So what do we need to do to drive productivity? One is there's a lot of different sectors in India, and there are sectors that are going to be growing faster than GDP, the 8.5% that's required, and some are going to grow less than the GDP. Now, of the sectors that are going to grow very fast, manufacturing and construction actually have the highest potential. So it's very clear now that productivity is key and manufacturing is key. Okay? In order to drive productivity, key processes have to improve. Now it could be systems, it could be management, it could be people, capabilities, skilling, and all of that. Now, if we do all of that, automation again is an enabler for making that happen, the likely results are going to be really fantastic for the country. So overall productivity can go up by a factor of 5. And if we do that, then India's 2020 decade will be a decade of golden opportunity that was captured. And in order to do all of this, it's very clear that automation and Industry 4.0 would do two things. One, it would accelerate these things to happen, the productivity gains to happen. And second, because of automation, we would actually capture in place what has been gained. See that fundamentally, there are a lot of changes happening at multiple levels. And the bottom line is what we used to call analog craftsmanship is getting changed over to what we call digital craftsmanship. That is use of data and using data to drive physical processes to get better and better and better. So by leveraging factory automation, one is we are ensuring that we are locked into the future and the competitiveness that is required for the future. The second is any standards that are there now or would evolve could actually be baked into the system, whether it's for quality or reliability or security and safety and so on. The third most important thing, you remember that we talked about the demographic trends, 1 crore people getting added every year. Now, those youth are likely to be attracted to the new age technologies, and we will need to actually ensure that they're able to able to participate in this process. And the way we would do that is through the use of new age technology and automation. Okay, so what is it likely that can happen? One is enhanced plant safety and stability, vastly improved productivity and performance, autonomous resolution of at least, I would say 80-90% of the issues. And more importantly, because of automated knowledge management, we could help build very large scale into our manufacturing facilities and processes, and eventually lead to certain operations which need de-skilling to be de-skilled easily. And bottom line is, large value creation can happen because of this closed loop continuous improvement through the use of factory automation and Industry 4.0.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chandrashekar, for sharing your valuable inputs on why adopting factory automation is essential, and also explaining how automation, or rather the futuristic Industry 4.0 and factory automation can drive India's growth. Now, in this mojo4industry development debate on why adopting factory automation is essential, I would like to invite Mr. Sunil Mehta ji. Mr. Sunil Mehta is the General Manager, E-Factory Strategic Planning at Mitsubishi Electric India. We would request Mr. Mehta to highlight the factors that are impacting adoption of automation in factories across India.
The PLCs, the HMI, these are all factory automation products, as well as the CNC controllers are being largely used in Indian manufacturing industries in last 20 years. There is a quite good growth has happened in my view. And we can say that we are at maybe 2.5 or maybe Industry 3.0 level. Many people ask, because Industry 4.0 is a terminology which is a latest trend, which is bring from the Germany. So that's the Germany prerogative of smart manufacturing. Japanese perspective for the same is we called it as e-factory. That's again a digitization or smart factory. I would again like to say that we got a good quality of engineer, as the previous speaker said that more than almost 1 crore people. Yes, of course, we have got good engineering colleges and IT people, and we have got people who adopt these technologies very well. The only thing is that we need to improve upon our discipline, and we need to see that, yes, whatever investment in the factory automation products, what we are doing, it results into a good yield. So the returns on investments are quite good. So that is very, very important. And of course, these factory automation products will play a key role. And again, the energy management systems will be required. In India, as you can see, the F&B sector is also growing. So that also needs a lot of factory automation. So we've got manufacturing, we've got textile, we've got infrastructure developments, cement industry. So all put together, everything is going in a very positive direction. And factory automation will play a key role. Of course, it is playing a key role, but we got many factory automation products from Mitsubishi Electric, and not only from Mitsubishi Electric. There are many companies which are present in India with their network and with their service network. So everything is available to our manufacturers, to our system integrators. But we need to change. We need to adopt these technologies. We need to improve the skills of our people who are already there, who are working on the shop floor. We need to train them on these technologies.
For any business, it is essential to get fully convinced with return on investment, that is ROI, before putting the money for anything, more specifically in a country like India, where we all are very much concerned about kitna deti hai. Viewers, Now we are going to have a discussion and debate to understand the return on investment with factory automation.
Yeah.
So to start with, Mr. Chandrasekhar, how to assess the value of automation in investment? Can you explain us?
Really the crux of the question, in my opinion, because only when someone is able to see that, would they invest hard-earned money into something that is really a promise of the future. So one of the things that we have seen and done with our customers, especially in Industry 4.0 or the digitization of factory operations, is when we initially started this as India's first mover in this space, we went to our customers and said, what is it that you would like to see happen, right? And a lot of them were really the irritating, low-hanging fruit, so to speak, which did not need necessarily very high-tech solutions or a big bang approach to technology. And as we started solving them, we saw that a lot of these customers were able to get ROI. Again, when we typically talk about ROI, we talk about 1 year, 2 years. That is a definition of classical low-cost automation, right? We actually have case studies, documented case studies where ROI has been in the matter of few weeks. So if someone invested a lakh of rupees, or let's say 10 lakh of rupees, they would actually see a return on that within a month's time. So that is the kind of ROI which will make people believe in automation. Of course, not all automation is prone to a 1 lakh or 10 lakh investment. But if we are able to start with customers in a way where they start to believe in their own ability to harness automation.
Mr. Mehta, would you like to add your comments to this?
Yeah, there are two ways to look at it. First of all, what is happening is that in India, many of the people there are two types of machines available on the shop floor. One is the machines which has been bought in a couple of years just now. And there are machines which are working for more than 15, 20 years. So definitely end users would not like to throw away those machines. So it's possible to retrofit or recondition those machines using the latest controls. So keeping the mechanicals or keeping the machines as it is, many of the parts with a very low investment. Definitely with the latest factory automation products, these machines can be upgraded so that these machines can talk to the world. So for the networks and the compatibilities are possible. And nowadays, whatever machines has been procured, whether it is in, I'm talking about automotive sector, or because right now, if you see in India, automotive sector, it's not new investments are coming up as far as the greenfield projects are considered, but there are manufacturers are buying some equipments or maybe realigning or making the new lines or something like that. And now the investment will come mainly in electric vehicles, EV. So that area, the equipments, whatever equipments will be purchased, they will be definitely be adopted with the factory automation products. And those equipments will be purchased in India or maybe purchased from outside India. So when we talk about ROI, as I said that the controllers are available right from 10,000 or 15,000. And the ROI can be calculated less than 1 year or something like that. And we also have done some of the applications where we applied VFDs for paint shops or something like that. And with this adoption of this technology, the ROIs are less than 11 months or 10 months, because you know how much energy was consumed by the paint shop. And after 1 year, you can calculate and how much energy was consumed by adopting these variable frequency drives. So definitely, factory automation products, of course, ROI will be there, but then it will not be having, if you practically talked about, it cannot be more than 1.5 year for any kind of product, as far as the ROI is considered.
Mr. Mehta, as you mentioned that e-mobility or electric vehicle is going to be on the spotlight for factory automation segment. So could you be a little specific about the applications?
Basically, what is happening is that people, slowly in India, the people are trying to set up manufacturing plants, assembly plants for the batteries. There are investments coming up in various areas, as well as the two-wheeler manufacturers are going ahead with the EV vehicle. So as of now, some of the things has been purchased outside India. So they are purchasing the kit form for the electric vehicle. It could be two-wheeler as well as auto rickshaw will also be electric vehicle will come very soon in the market. And definitely it is going to help us in another 2 years. Definitely we'll have a lot of investment in that direction. And that will support our manufacturing as well as equipment makers to adopt these technologies.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, do you also believe that e-mobility is going to be on the center stage for factory automation? And if yes, which are the other segments that will drive the growth together with the e-mobility?
Let me answer that in two parts. One is, again, EVs and e-mobility is sort of the flavor of the day today. And there's no getting around that. And you might have heard that a lot of the auto majors, including Volkswagen, are looking to invest even up to $45 billion over the next few years to get into the EV space. Now, in addition to that, what we have done, again, as part of CII, two national committees, we have looked at a few champion sectors in manufacturing. And manufacturing itself has many different sub-verticals, right? It could be vehicles, it could be capital goods and machine tools, it could be pharmaceuticals, chemical industry, agriculture industry, the food processing industry, metals. So there are about 15 champion sectors that has been identified by CII, and we have engaged with the government. And that's where you're seeing a lot of these PLI schemes come up. And the PLI schemes are likely to have a total of 2 lakh crores outlay by the government once it's fully vested. So EV is one part of it. Again, it's a flavor of the day, but there's a lot of ecosystems around that are getting built up. And, for instance, we focus on the pharmaceutical industry. India can be the pharma capital of the whole world. So while EV is definitely going to play a center stage, there are about another 15 champion industry sectors that are identified, and they all have the potential to actually grow faster than the GDP of the country.
Mr. Mehta was telling that most of the requirement will be made by import especially for the factory automation segment. So by when, being you are into the CII as well as in the IMTMA, by when we will be able to create an import substitute ecosystem for India as well?
Achieving two things. One is we realize that historically the Indian machine tool industry or the automation industry has always been associated with only the automobile manufacturing and its supply chain. But if you really see the usage of those kinds of automated machines or solutions, they lend itself to a lot of other industries. For example, there's a toy cluster that's coming up near Hubli in Karnataka. There's also a consumer electricals cluster coming up around the same area. The adoption of automation to those industries is really no different than what our manufacturing capabilities already are. So we are in the process through IMTMA to reach out to the construction machinery, the agriculture machinery, the food processing, electronics manufacturing, and some of these identified sectors where we believe it's only a right positioning and maybe some tweaking of our existing products that would actually proliferate into these other industries which are not traditionally seen as being catered by Indian manufacturing industries. But we believe that there's a lot of optimism in the years to come that we'll be able to do more and more in terms of supporting our local ecosystem.
Mr. Mehta, so what's your comment on the localization as far as Mitsubishi is concerned?
See, as far as Mitsubishi is concerned, yes, we are doing a lot of investment in India. In fact, recently we are also going ahead with the manufacturing setup near Pune, near Talega. So that's and last few years we started manufacturing various products in India. We are developing products. We have got a R&D which is based out of Pune, and that's the 4th R&D outside Japan. And Mitsubishi Electric, of course, e-factory, consider we are implementing this e-factory in various automotive as well as in pharmaceutical industries. So that's basically again industry 4.0. So connectivity of all the equipments to the ERP system or MES system. So that activities are going on. So for that, we have developed various alliance partners. In last 2 years, we have got almost 25 alliance partners developed for e-factory implementation in various industry verticals, as well as it covers various geography of the India. We are also very focusingly working on pharmaceutical as well as F&B industries, where a lot of growth is there. Of course, automotive industry, there, if you see a lot of Japanese automotive players like Suzuki, Toyota, Nissan, as well as the Korean companies like Hyundai has got a very good foothold in Indian automotive industries. Again, we also got a large number of two-wheeler manufacturers, Bajaj, TVS, Hero MotoCorp, HMSI, that is Honda motorcycles, scooters. So they are growing, and there is a need of factory automation products. Plus, they are also going ahead with the electric vehicle options. And I am sure that e-factory as well as factory automation investment will get boost. As far as Mitsubishi Electric is considered, we also have one manufacturing setup which is near Bangalore, where we are also in making our equipments for the bogies, because metro is picking up very well in India. If you see, a lot of metro projects are coming up, and even in Pune, I can see the metro setup is going on. Of course, Bangalore has got Bangalore, Kolkata, and other cities has got a metro quite ahead. But Pune, Nagpur, and all these cities are now going ahead with a lot of investment for metro. Factory automation products plays a key role in metros also, because you talk about signaling systems and talk about many other areas where this factory automation plays a key role. We have investment near Bangalore, where we make bogies or some electrical components which are very much required for the bogies of the metro. The door closers, and so there are so many things, and motors, and with various components. So those are also manufactured in India. We are bringing a lot of stuff from Japan, so which will be assembled and manufactured in India. Today, some of the products we are doing CKD form, but there is plans to make it more production in India in another 4 to 5 years.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, you were talking about the PLI scheme. So how these PLI schemes for different industry segments like manufacturing, even solar, so how the PLI schemes are going to get, going to drive the growth for factory automation segment?
All of this is about driving productivity and driving jobs. So if you look at PLI, mobile and electronics components already have gotten more than, I think, 45,000 crores of PLI allocation. And pharma has gotten close to about 8,000 crores. Medical devices has got about close to 4,000 crores. So two things happen. One is just, the new facilities coming in itself lead to jobs. And when new facilities come in, they typically come in with a level of automation that is at least one generation ahead of what used to be, coming in maybe 10 years ago. So automation and Industry 4 gets baked into some of the new facilities that are coming up as part of not just the main factories, but also the entire value chain.
Why do you feel that more and more manufacturing MSMEs should adopt automation, and how it's going to be beneficial for them as well in terms of their return on investment as well as the productivity?
Right. So really one word, which is, there is now a belief that automation or digitization actually leads to paisa vasool, so to speak. So retail consumer level, people have been impacted by digitization as a concept, so that whole idea of digital or data or automation is now seen as a positive thing and not as a scary thing. That's number one. The second is, there is a technology adoption curve that has picked up, and by word of mouth, people are hearing that, maybe my competitor down the street actually did digitization, and then he benefited this way. So that steam is picking up. So the MSMEs are very acutely plugged into what makes money for them, because oftentimes they literally survive on single-digit profit margins. So even if they're able to take their profit margins from, let's say, 6 or 7% to 8 or 9%, it's a big deal for them. So that's the bottom line. There is a belief that doing all this actually would improve their bottom line to start with, and then eventually allow them the ability to grow their top line.
Mr. Mehta, you represent Automation Industry Association. How are you driving the growth of automation in the factory segment, especially for the MSMEs? What sort of initiatives you are taking, if you can just enlighten our audience as well?
Yeah, basically, as a part of AI, there are many automotive companies in India has formed this association, and this was established somewhere in year 2004. And I'm part of AI, and we have Industry Connect, then we got Campus Connect. So we are also trying to bridge the gap between industry as well as the universities, so that the universities where the next generation who are coming out of as the graduates from the engineering colleges and all these things, they should be aware of this, the latest technologies, or maybe Industry 4.0 or smart manufacturing. So that area we are working. We also have association. We work with the government we also give the inputs for the policy makings and all these things, as well as we work with the standards like BIS and those things. So where we are trying to give the inputs for the Industry 4.0, or what should be in India for the standards as far as Industry 4.0 is considered. I am also part of Industry 4.0 committee with CIA and also work with FICCI. So we, as a part of AI, we try to make more connectivity with the industry and as the campus connectivity.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mehta. Thank you, Mr. Chandrashekar Bharathi. Thank you all delegates for attending this session. We hope you have enjoyed this session. Thank sponsor of this session, mojo4industry Development Event. Sponsor was Baker Automation Private Limited. Please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and press the bell icon. Also, to access industry news on the go, visit our website www.mojo4industry.com. Goodbye.